Alright, it has come full circle. This is gonna take some explaining. So gather around, it's story time. So, this is the green turd that started it all. I found this hot-rodded cj5 at a junkyard, driving home to see my goats. This was on the way home, and this was sitting right out front at the local Arizona U-Pull and Save. It had obviously been sitting for years with rats totally freeloading in the floorboards of this thing. I mean, look at how thick these rat turds are. I bet you these rats rode around in motorcycles to get around this Jeep. It was just horribly sick. I think that's why no one else bought it. I saw some other people look at this thing and they shook their head in disgust after seeing these rat turds. But this was no ordinary cj5. It may look like crap, but check out these awesome uncappable side pipes someone had welded on. And look at this really nice old Ram Charger next to it. It had brand new 31 BFG all-terrains on it with some sweet 5-on-5.5 wheels. Well, they were a perfect fit on this cj5, and the guy that worked at the junkyard let me have all 4 sets for only $100. These were brand new BFG all-terrains. Look at how bad the wiring was under this thing, and they were nesting up under the dash. It was just horrifically bad. But under the hood was the secret weapon. 330 horse Summit crate engine with Vortec heads, 64cc chamber heads, 430 lift cam, 4-bolt main. No one knew what this was. I saw the welded tag on the bottom of the block. There was also a printed barcode on the side of the block that was right next to the welded tag. And that was how I looked it up and found out that it was a Summit crate engine. No one knew the secret weapon hiding under this poor rotting turd. We got this thing running. It hardly needed anything. We thrashed this thing on 4-wheel drive trails. We put a Detroit locker in it. We thrashed this thing on the street. It was wicked fast on the street. It ran cool. It had 65 pounds of oil pressure. This thing was an absolute beast. We ran to Florence and ran the Elvis and Jack Handle Trail, and that's when we blew out the 3-speed. The input shaft just exploded, as you can see. It didn't like the horsepower. Oh, and there's my goat stuffing. So we pulled the dead, blown up T-15 out of there, set it on the ground, and on Facebook Marketplace, I found this. It's a rebuilt Ford T18 with a rebuilt Dana 20 transfer case, and I had made a video on how to adapt this Ford T18 to a Chevy V8 motor bell housing without an adapter kit, and that worked great. However, the adapter plate to the transfer case was the wrong adapter plate, and I fought and could not get the transfer case to work. I got so upset and stressed and beat up, I sold the thing for dirt cheap just so I could start on another project. Well, after a few Jeep builds later, I was really missing the green turd. And then there was this really cool guy in Coolidge, Arizona, who I sold the Jeep to, had it for sale again back on Marketplace. And this is the actual photo of the ad of it looking dirtier and more abandoned than ever. I love on the windshield, though, it still has the junkyard rating on the windshield. I love that. I jumped on this thing, bought it back for dirt cheap. No matter what, we're going to put some kind of drivetrain in it that works, that we can go thrashing, do burnouts, go wheeling, race on the street, and have a blast in this thing like it was meant to do. Alright, so we need to prime our Summit crate motor for our green Jeep. This is from the Willys hot rod I had that I finished restoring and painting and sold. And I took this out and put an HEI in it. And I figured, this should be a good primer someday. Well, now I need it. I think what I'm going to do, I beat out the pin already. And I'm just going to take this off and see if there's anything else keeping it from just the whole thing sliding out. Because what we're after here is just the inside piece here. Let's see if it'll go. All right. There we go. Okay, gear is off. We are going to save our gear. This goes in our Chevy parts bin. We know that this is a good gear. This was in a Chevy motor for a while. The wear marks are beautiful. We'll save this. I have the dowel pin for it too. So now we can just pull this thing out, which I currently cannot do with one hand. Hold on. This is borderline ingenious. Check this out. I beat a 12mm socket on the end of the shaft. Perfect. Dude, we got primer. This motor is gonna run. It's had an automatic starter in it, which is totally wrong for this 4-speed T18, so I put a Buick Skylark 1977 manual transmission starter in here, which has, you can see it down there, it has the automatic transmission bolt holes, but it's for a manual. It's the only thing that would fit. So, see if it works. Right now, the engine's really tight. If I pull all the plugs out, it'll spin over. But if I put the plugs in, it's really hard to turn over. I brought in some reinforcements. I brought in leg brake and Louie and Tommy the Hammer Gambanizo. And these two dudes are working their magic in there right now. I sprayed both of these in every hole. As you can see, there it is running down the pipe. So yeah. What we're going to do now, while that's marinating in its pasta sauce, we're going to pull our super awesome MSD distributor out. We are going to prime this thing for like 10 minutes straight, I kid you not, until my drill dies. Put everything back together. By that time, hopefully this has soaked for a minute. And see if it'll spin over with the plugs out, if the starter will even engage. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'll give you the info on this motor here in a minute. I ran the casting numbers. Let's see if this thing will even live again. Hold on. Too much of an angle. Let's see if I can get the drill straight on there. Oh, we just got to go that fast. Well, primed it a lot. Registered on the gauge. Now, it's possible my MSD box is fried. Because I put a different battery on here and I couldn't see the plus or minus. And so I just put them on and it are bad. I might have fried the ignition. All right, one more round. Yeah, let's take this out. Handy dandy tool. Just cut it off from an old points distributor. Works pretty good. Almost dropped the nut in the oil pump hole. That would have been craptacular. Again, here you go. More ignition wires. Get out of there. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to go. Back in from whence you came. We'll just keep turning it till it goes in. Against the fire from which you came. Oh, we're so close. Okay, so we either need to turn it that way a little more or the other way a little more. You think that did it? Oh, so close. It needs to go. Was that the right way? Tell me. I just clean and do house chores. Good thing this isn't flag time at a shop. We'd be going out of business. Is that direct hit? Direct hit. All right, we're back in time. Direct hit. All right, we're back in time. I think we're back in time. Did I pump the engine over with this out? I do not think I did. I hope I did. Because then we get the top dead center all over again, kids. I don't think I did. I don't know, man. I just answer the phones, okay? I just answer the phones and keep the bathrooms clean. Okay, guys? Come here, Rick. And this nut does not want to go on, so that's good. And it's at a place I can't get it, so that's good. It's literally the place I can't get. Oh boy. I'm excited and I'm terrified. Is this thing gonna run? Is it gonna turn over? Is it gonna start? Is it still locked up? Did I stab the distributor wrong, a tooth off? I don't know. It's either gonna fire up or it's gonna lock up or it's gonna run horrible. So the engine's primed, cylinders are oiled. Here we go. Fuel pump is pumping. We got a remote starter. The starter button on the firewall is completely trashed and just gets hot as soon as I turn anything on. So I know the wiring's arcing out or bad or something. So, alright, Mr. Push Button, here we go. Oh god, is this thing in neutral? The last thing I need to do is have this thing plow through my wall and run my goats over. Alright, let's give it a whaddle. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay then. Well. Alright, well, that didn't take much, did it? £55. Let's give it some choke. My choke still work? Oh, that's killing it. Okay, it doesn't want choke. Half? Maybe half? Yeah. I'd say the distributor was in time. I mean, if it starts on the first click, I'm not going to rev it up yet. Let's let it run a little bit. Let them rings marinate in the Alfredo sauce. Let them lifters kind of get up to dinner temperature. I think we're good. Well, this is what's next on this thing. Oh, shut the fuel off. Fuel pump works. Fuel tank works. Here's the next problem, guys. I'm going to go around. We're not out of the woods. So, this now become storage for pool toys when your Jeeps don't run. So, this adapter plate, if you can see it, right here, this is the wrong adapter plate. So this is a Ford T18, adapted to a Chevy, without an adapter plate. You can see all the brackets I made to make it adapt. So you can bolt a Ford T18 to a Chevy, no problem. See, bolts right up. Just gotta drill a few holes, massage a few things, it's not that big of a deal. I did a video on it, you can see it. I'll put a link. So this is a Jeep T18 to Dana 20 adapter. But this is a Ford T18. The back of the Ford T18 is way different than the back of the Jeep T18. So I need a Ford T18 to Jeep Dana 20 adapter. I think if I change this adapter plate from that, this thing will work. Advanced Adapters says they'll send it to me for $250, so I'm going to do that. There was a T15 behind there, but it just blew it to pieces. This motor's got way too much horsepower for a T15. T15s are good, but anything more than 240 horse, you're pushing its limits. So, let's see. We got the green turd at least running, so we know the engine is okay. Some of the spark plugs were hand loose, so it wasn't running 100% perfect. Still, it revs up real fast and everything, but I found 3 spark plugs that were finger loose, so there was compression coming out of some spark plugs. But other than that, we know the engine runs. We are going to disassemble, the next episode, we are going to disassemble the transmission, see if we can get it working again. She's leaning up against a brick. Is that brick comfortable stuffing? We're going to see if we can fix the Ford T18. we are going to... We bought a spare Ford T18 with a Chevy adapter on it. We might be running a 3-speed. I have a T15 as well that might go in there. So the next episode, we are going to put a transmission in it of some kind, get it running and driving. Once it drives really good, we're going to fix the brakes. And then in episode 3, we are going to rip out that disgusting, horrific wiring. Half of the wiring in that thing is extension cords. We are going to new seats, redo the floors. We are going to paint. I still haven't decided on a color yet. It's the green turd, so I want to keep it green. So, there is a lot going to be seen on the green turd in the next 3 episodes of Junkyard Jeep. Do you feel better? Huh? Does your neck feel all stretched? All right, guys.